Shalom, today's March 17th, and we're in day 528 of the war in Israel. And while there's a tense ceasefire, soldiers in Judea and Samaria are still fighting. Gaza is still a front. Accidental bullets were fired across the border between Lebanon and Israel and almost hit a civilian. But the news seems like it paused from the war, and it's mainly about a big drama in the government, and it writes here, collision. Prime Minister Netanyahu wants to fire the head of the Shin Bet, Ronen Bar. Reads here, Eincha yachol lefater et rosh hashabak. You cannot fire the head of the Shabak. The Shabak is the Shin Bet Kaf, the General Security Services in Israel, which is really the internal intelligence services in Israel. The cartoon of today shows the feeling that a lot of citizens have towards Benjamin Netanyahu. Here he is on a tree with a print of October 7th, and he's counting. It's a game in Israel. Whoever is behind me, he is it, right? So he's saying whoever is behind me or on my sides is responsible of October 7th. 1, 2, 3. Now who is behind him? Ronen Bar, the head of the Shabak. Haouthis, the chief of staff, the former chief of staff that resigned, and Gallant, the defense minister, who was fired as well by Benjamin Netanyahu. And many of the opinions here are saying Benjamin Netanyahu is firing everybody else around him who were perhaps responsible for parts of October 7th, but he's not taking responsibility himself. There is one opinion article here from Nava Dromi, and she says, no, this is called democracy. Maybe it's time to have a Rosh Shabak, a head of the Shabak, that is loyal to the prime minister. That's called democracy, that they work together with the same front, with the same spirit, you can say, for the people of Israel. Yuval el-Bashan writes here, Ma ha-beitza u'ma ha-tarnagolet? What is the egg and what is the chicken? He says, there's one thing that may prevent the firing of Ronen Bar, and it is the conflict of interest, because the Shabak and the head of the Shabak, Ronen Bar, is the head also of the investigations of Netanyahu's connections to Qatar, as they've been receiving, Netanyahu's office has been receiving in indirect ways 6-figure sums from Qatar, supposedly to make his image better. So these are suspicions. An investigation is going on. The latest one is just the latest out of this long series of connections between Benjamin Netanyahu and Qatar. So the Attorney General calls for an investigation, appoints Ronen Bar, the head of the Shabak, as the head of the investigations, and the firing comes along. So the question is, האם החקירה נבעה מפיטורים אפשריים? או ההפך, has the investigation opened because of optional firing, or the opposite, or the other way around? The High Court will have to determine, because technically speaking, yes, the Prime Minister can fire Ronen Bar, the head of the Shabak, but not if there's a conflict of interest where Ronen Bar is investigating the cases around Netanyahu and perhaps even against Netanyahu because of the Qatar Gate cases. So yes, the Attorney General said there must be a legal review before you decide to fire Ronen Bar. So while this is opinion, by the way, there's another opinion here saying that the conflict between Netanyahu and Ronen Bar is dangerous. While these are all opinions, here is a news article about some facts. Piturei Rosh HaShabak יצאו לדרך. The firing of the head of the Shabak have started. Yatzu l'derech have gone their way, means have started. This is more about that. In this red box we read, ha'achra'im, the responsible ones to the failure of October 7th is Rosh HaMemshala, Ronen Bar, the head of the Shabak, he was fired. Putar means fired. Fired, that was Yoav Gallant. Haouthis, the former chief of staff, he has resigned, hitpater. Aluf Pikud Darom, the general of the South Command in Israel, Yaron Finkelman, he has resigned, hitpater. Rosh Agaf HaMivtzaim, the head of the operational wing in Israel, in the IDF, Oded Besyuk, hitpater. He has resigned. And Rosh Amman, the head of the intelligence wing of the IDF, Aharon Haliva, Hitpater, has resigned. Rosh HaMemshala, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is the only one without not being fired or hasn't resigned. The head of the Shabak answered and proclaimed, "Ani mechuyav lehamshich betafkidi." I am committed to continue in my job. I am not supposed to be personally loyal to Prime Minister Netanyahu. I am loyal to the people of Israel and to their protection. Next, lachatz al Iran, pressure on Iran. And this is pressure that America is putting on Iran as they're believing that Iran is backing up the Houthis. So here it is, following the warnings from the states, from the United States, against Iran, the Houthis are threatening to renew their fire on Israel. After broad U.S. attacks against the Houthis, the U.S. is spicing up the tone, as it says here, against Tehran in a clear demand to stop helping the Houthis. And senior leaders in Tehran got together yesterday and said, we are not backing up the Houthis. We are following them, we watch them, but we're not backing them up financially. If you do attack us, we will respond harshly against Israel. In the image, we watch Trump watching the attacks of the US in Sana'a, Yemen. Down here, we read that Witkoff is threatening Hamas. Witkoff is Trump's special representative here in Israel. Actually, I think in the Middle East here. He's threatening Hamas, saying, what is it? You cannot let, it says here, Arba'a chalalim chatufim. You cannot let go 4 dead hostages and 1 hostage alive. This is unreasonable. Look what we've done to the Houthis. You better learn the lesson. Because Hamas is at a dead, they're not cooperating with any more of the negotiation plans. Meanwhile, Mishlachat Israel b'Mitzrayim, an Israeli delegation, is in Cairo trying still to work on these negotiations to bring back 59 Israeli hostages that are still in Hamas, and the estimation is that 24 of them are alive. And something good to end with, as you say in Hebrew, Mashu Tov L'Siyum, banana boom. So after 2 years of decrease of 20% of the bananas due to the effects of the war and due to the heavy weather damages in 2022, where it was extremely cold, farmers had to get rid of so much dunams of banana. They're saying here it was very sad and painful to destroy fruit and destroy banana fields. Now, from the beginning of 2025, they're starting to see an optimistic you can say wave going upwards, started to increase banana sales again, even to Gaza and also to the Israeli citizens that have been evacuated from their homes and now they're back into their homes in the north, in the south, and the request for bananas has gone up. They're saying bananas is the number one popular fruit in the world and also in Israel, while apples is number 2. So we are happy for the Israeli farmers as the sales of the bananas is going up, and that is good for Israel's agriculture. This is all for today for All Israel News newspaper report. You're reading what Israelis are reading when you're listening to us. For more news that matters, please follow us on allisrael.com. And if you like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Like it if you liked it. This is Rotem again for All Israel News.